All right. Glitch in the matrix. Everybody back? What's going on? I figured out. All right, hold on. Tell me if you're back and tell me if you can hear me. We're going to have to. Here's the problem. Got a problem. All the questions got deleted. Okay. All right. My bad. All right. We got 30, 40. We're getting close to 40 people back in the room. All right. We'll give everybody a second here. Had a slight malfunction. I'm not sure if Zoom crashed or I hit end. I don't know, but it, that was a disaster. All right. I was getting fired up. It's still good, Jonathan. Don't worry about it. We'll still be good. It's all going to be good. It's going to be fine. We just got to get everybody back. Okay. All right. So let's see. Is Carrie back in here yet? Carrie, you back? Let me go back to panels and attendees. The power of live. The power of live. All right. So I'm back in. Hold on. Let me put my box over here. Let me close this out. Let me tell my team what happened. Hold on here. I think I figured this out. All right. All right. See, guys, it ain't got to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. It ain't got to be perfect. What are you talking about? All right. The questions all deleted. The success stories all deleted. So if everybody, I'm going to give everybody just a couple seconds here to put your questions back in the chat box. Or not the chat box, the Q&A box. I am so sorry. I either hit the wrong button or something crashed. I reached down to hit the Q&A button and it's red, but I may have hit end there. I don't know. That's hilarious, right? But it don't matter. What does it matter? All right, we already got 4 questions back. We got to win back. I need more wins and questions inside of the thing. This will be an amazing. Yes, this will be a five fails Friday fodder. We got the tongue twisters going here as well. And for my team who is listening, I had to click start on the one for the 28th because it was the same link. I realized that before I built a new one. And I'm like, oh, I bet if I hit that again, it'll be the same link. So I actually started that one. I don't know what will happen. We might have to redo the Zoom. So my bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. But if somebody could send a message like an announcement, go to the announcements and send an announcement like we're still here for anybody that we might missed. It'll all work out. All right, so go ahead and ask your question back inside of the Q&A box. I see about 10 questions already. And I got a couple success stories there as well. So give everybody a chance to pop it back in. No big deal. We will jump right back into where we left off. We're going to keep the energy high and we're going to make everything fun because that's what business is. It should be simple and fun, and we should not get worked up over crazy stuff like that. All right, so let me turn on one thing here. And once I do, we will get going again. Now, who in here? Let me ask you a question. Let me be honest with you here. Who in here, if that had happened to them, would have thought it was the most biggest freak disaster and they'd be having an anxiety panic attack right now in their life? If that happened to you, you were on a live Q&A with dozens of people from all over the world, what would happen? Would you would you would you be freaking out right now? Would you be messed up? You probably would, right? We all do. I remember when I had my first interview, I launched my first podcast. Chrissy said I'd let a few choice words fly. Right? I just went, oh. When I saw that it collapsed, I went, oh. It just all shut down. My first podcast ever was called the Coach XO Show, and I interviewed football coaches, but I hadn't even launched yet. And I had reached out to a couple other football podcasters to interview me on their show. Right? And I got this, what I thought was the greatest opportunity in the history of my life. A youth football coach podcast wanted to interview me. I thought, that's it. This is it. It's the big time. I mean, Grammys, Oscars. You don't need that. I need this random dude in his closet for good sound asking me about youth football drills. That's what I need. This is the opportunity of the lifetime right here. And so I go on this show, and I remember right in the middle of it, I called in on my phone because I didn't have any equipment. I could only do my phone. And my phone dropped the call because I live in Kentucky and we don't have phone service or internet barely. And I freaked out. I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I thought this is it. I missed my shot. I missed my chance. It's over. Right? Of course it wasn't. And so not my first rodeo, guys. I've been turning off Zoom right in the middle of me talking and hanging up phone calls since 2012. All right, here we go. Our next question comes from Darren. Darren writes, how do you get over the fear of not having enough content in your membership? How do you get over the fear of not having enough content for your membership? Okay. Just like your soul, the truth will set you free. Whatever you're afraid of, if you understand that there's nothing to be afraid of, it's not going to be scary anymore, right? If you go into a dark room and you're scared and you turn on the light and you realize there's nobody there, and you do that over and over and over again, eventually you realize there's nothing to be afraid of in the dark. Why was I even afraid of the dark? It doesn't make sense. And there's nothing to be afraid of in content because people don't care how much content there is. They care what kind of results you can deliver, right? Like right now, Darren, you're here, you're at this Q&A, you're a member of the Flipped Lifestyle community. Off the top of your head, tell me how many courses are in the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. I'll give you 10 seconds. All right, 3 seconds. But you can't. You don't care. You know there's content there. You know there's content coming. And you know that there's Q&As. You know that there's forums. And you know there's customer service. And you know there's all those other things. You know you've got people here that care about you, right? But you don't know exactly how many courses there are, right? And in fact, when you join the community, I don't even tell you what all the courses are inside of the Flipped Lifestyle community are. I don't have a list of Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint courses on the sales page. It's not even a part of our sales process. Now, when you get in and you hear me talk enough, you'll realize a ballpark of about what's in there, right? But on any given day, you don't know. All you know is you've got a place where you can go to get answers, right? And that's what people really care about. They don't care about content. Like people are drowning in content. They're drowning in courses. What you need is a path that will get them to where they go. Here's another question. Okay. Even if I see some hardcore flip your lifers inside of the community. How long are all the courses inside of the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint? How long? Does anybody know? Like if you took phases 1 through 5, how many minutes would it be? And I know this because Jocelyn added it up in a meeting because someone asked us this. It's like 7 hours and 39 seconds or something in the first 4 phases or something like that, right? So these are things that are just like, yeah, there's content, right? What's more important is that people know they can trust you. They know that you want to help them. They know you're on a mission to help them succeed in your niche and your space, and that they feel like they belong somewhere. That's what a membership is, right? They care that you have gotten the result and you have helped people get results and you can help them get results. So the boogeyman of I don't have enough content doesn't exist. I know people who have memberships that have 0 content. And they have 600, 700 members in it. No content. It's only, we have a friend, his name's Joe Nicoletti, and he has a membership where it's 99% accountability. He does these work sessions where writers come together and they write together in co-working while music plays. He takes a big hourglass and flips it over. They have a timer on the screen, and that's all. That's a whole membership. And he has like 700, 800 members. He's almost got 1,000 members in that, and it has no content, right? They drop a workshop here and there, but it's not content based, right? And so it doesn't matter because now some niche markets require content. Like you can't learn how to start, build, and launch a membership in 90 days or less unless you are in the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint and you're like, okay, I'm going to get my idea, I'm going to get my avatar, I'm going to get my offer, I'm going to launch my membership, I'm going to do all those things, right? So you need content, but it doesn't matter how much content you have when you start. So someone guessed correctly that there's over 50 modules inside of the whole Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint floating around somewhere, right? But when we started, we had a pre-sale for 7 courses, 0 content. These are the 7 courses we're going to make if you tell us you want them. And here's the funny thing. Those 7 courses that I originally created are not even in the blueprint anymore. We took them out because they were outdated and we replaced them with something else. So the content changes, the content goes. It's the promise of content. It's the guarantee of support that people really join your membership. So let that boogeyman rest. That boogeyman ain't scary no more because he ain't real. You do not have to have a ton of content, and also the assurance your content will grow over time, right? Your content will grow over time and you'll eventually have more content than you'll ever actually need. Okay. Now, I'll give you one more example of this, of a content-driven membership, is my U.S. History Teachers website. That requires content because I'm selling access to content, right? But that one also doesn't really have a community necessarily. It's got like a Facebook page where I share funny memes about history, but it's not really like they're all hanging out together as history teachers or whatnot. That's a content-driven membership. So if I'm going to sell something like that, then I need to ask my audience how much content I need to put in there, and I need to have that in. So there are exceptions to the rule, of course, but most time, if go in the forums and post your idea, and let's see how much content you really need to make. All right, we got a win coming in from Chrissy. Chris says, win. We're 80% done with our move from WordPress to Kajabi. Whoop, whoop. Hallelujah. That is a big project, guys. That is a massive undertaking. Give Chrissy a standing ovation, because that's a courage decision, is to start moving your stuff from one platform to another, because these things are like octopus and squid, and they get their tentacles around you and you can't get out of them, right? And like moving into a simpler platform like that is going to be amazing for you and your team going forward. And we are still in the process, Chrissy, and we've been doing it since last July. That's like 7 months ago, and we're still in the process of moving from one platform to another. And but we see the light at the end of the tunnel, like Dave Ramsey says. It is not an oncoming train, and we are almost out of the tunnel with our switch to Kajabi as well. So good job, awesome stuff. Way to get that work done. That's going to be that's an investment. That's not just work. All right, got another question here from Ian. Ian writes, "Is it better to name my course or community to suit my niche, or to connect it to marketing search terms to make it easier to find?" Okay, gotcha. So this is a branding question. Basically, it would be like, so like, let's look at our brand, right? Let's look at the brands that I have. I'll give you some examples of what I've done. USHistoryTeachers.com is a branded domain based on search. Like if someone types in lesson plans for U.S. history teachers, right, I want them to find me, right? So in that instance, I did choose a search term for my domain name or my product and matter. Now, the Flipped Lifestyle community, the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, what does that mean? Nobody's searching for that unless they're looking for me and Jocelyn directly, right? Because they heard it somewhere else. So it means nothing. You have to remember that while brandable, good domains and names are really awesome, most of your search traffic comes from the content within the page or the post. You're going to name your domain. That's 2 words of your entire system. You're going to have a title for your blog post and your podcast and your YouTube videos and your courses and all those things. But then you're going to have like 2,000 words on a sales page that are going to be the meat. 99% of all your SEO lives in the body of your pages, not on your domain name. So the short answer is, it doesn't matter. Call it what you want. Just make sure when you're using sales pages and you're using terms and stuff like that, that you're using that search traffic. Like if you go look at our podcasts, like you'll see things like how to make money online with Pat Flynn, how to, we help Cindy define her avatar. Like we're using those search terms in titles of posts, in the body of things, in sales pages, so that they have a chance to get found. But we're not relying on that, right? It doesn't matter. It's not going to give you that much traffic. And I'll tell you this too, guys, SEO is important, but the days of ranking in SEO are just not as important as they used to be. The game now is in promotion and marketing. Like the game is buying ads. The game is getting onto other people's platforms. The game is getting in front of other people's existing audiences and sharing audiences and creating networks of people to help you and do that and share stuff on social media and all that stuff. So SEO is just a piece of the pie. It's a good piece of the pie. If you can get a domain that's amazing like that, like if I could own makemoneyonline.com, well, I would change Flip Lifestyle's name tomorrow. But that domain name probably costs $5 million, and I can't do that. So I'm not really that worried about it, and you shouldn't be either. Awesome. All right, our next question comes from Nikki. Nikki says, in an earlier question about free trials, I have a question about free trials based on an earlier question. If we do a 30-day free trial, should we limit the number of people who we let in for a beta group in the pre-sale? I remember at some point you mentioning putting it in a range that you can manage. Yes, I recommend that your first group or cohort is usually somewhere between 20 and 100 people, depending on how experienced you are at handling one-to-many conversations and groups. I don't think that it's helpful. I've seen people get a couple hundred members out of the gate, and then they lose 90% of them because they couldn't serve the people. Now, if you follow the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, you will be able to serve as many people as you want. There could be 10,000 people on this Q&A, and it wouldn't matter, right? Because I'm going to answer a certain number of questions in a certain period of time, and that's the way it is. And all other questions get answered in the forums. Okay. So if you manage it correctly, you can, but it's really overwhelming when you thrust yourself into the leadership of a community. That's one of the, I don't want to say cons of a membership community, but like, you are thrust into the front of a group of people. So if you can get a bunch of members, that's fine. Chris and Ivy Newport of ivynewport.com, they're amazing members of the Flip Lifestyle community. When they launched, it exploded. They got 500 something members or something in the first week or two. It was really overwhelming. And we had to step back and come up with, okay, I had to take them aside and say, look, that was awesome. It's amazing. Your life is never going to be the same, but we got to talk about this real quick. We got to come up with a plan so you don't lose all these people. And we had to figure out and negotiate that and navigate that because they weren't quite ready to lead that many people all at once. Right. So it's good to do multiple beta groups spread about 2 to 4 weeks apart. And that way you can just manage it. Like I got 20 this week. All right, then open another group. All right, 20 this week. I figured that out. 20 this week. First three to five groups you let it kind of stack, and then let it go. We did 3 beta groups. We had 60 people in the community when we launched Flip Lifestyle, and then when we opened the community, we got 120 on the first webinar. So we ended up with about 200 people really fast, but we felt like we could. I was already well skilled at leading groups of people. I mean, I used to coach a football team with 100 kids on it, So, I mean, we had led big groups. Jocelyn had been the elementary librarian for 500 elementary librarian students and all the teachers. So we had experience in our background, unfair advantages that helped us to manage big groups probably faster than most people would do it without being overwhelmed. So that's why I slow it down for anybody else. But if you got that experience, you think you can do it. If you think you can get 100 members, get 100 members. There's no reason to wait to make money. That's like a kid going pro out of NCAA basketball. He ain't going to wait till he's a junior. He's a freshman. He's going pro and he's getting paid, and you should too. All right. Great question. Awesome question. All right. Let's see here. If I got any success stories, I saw one, but all right, here we go. All right. Our next success story, our big win comes from Alexandria. I'm going to go Alexandria because it sounds fancier. All right. Her win is, while planning my membership, I saw an opportunity to host a quick webinar completely unrelated to my membership because of the skills I had already learned inside of the Flipped Lifestyle community. I was able to throw up a quick webinar in a week, post to one Facebook group, get 60 attendees, and earn $1,200 in 1 hour. And I would not have been able to do this if I had not been in the Flipped Lifestyle community. This program works if you work it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that success story. Hey, who wants $1,000 an hour? That's amazing. Now she's got money to go invest in the tools and resources to build out the membership site and make that more passive. Let's see how that works. Just like Jocelyn always says, you do the program and it works. How about that? How about them apples? Right? Right. You go in, you take a course, and you take action, and something happens. You go in, you ask a question in the forums and get an answer, and something happens. You hang out with Shane and you get high on life for a couple hours every single month, and you go out and do stuff, and things happen. Woo! That's amazing. That's a great success story. That's awesome stuff. And these skills do translate into fast action. That's what we're always big on. Don't wait. Don't figure it out. Just throw mud on the wall. Get started, right? And then things can happen, Oh, that's an awesome story. Good job. Awesome stuff. Alexandria. I don't know how to say it, but I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I'm proud of you. That's absolutely amazing. All right, guys, real quick, let me just give you a reminder link here for the round table. If you want to hang out with me every single Monday night over in the Round Table Mastermind. This is an awesome program that I am actually working with a mentor right now and planning to grow to be much bigger. And, one of the biggest things that people always ask us in the Flip Lifestyle community is, man, I want a mastermind. I want to be in a mastermind where I show up and there's another group of 10 people that show up and and it's guided and facilitated correctly to help me get results. And right now I'm leading this mastermind. I'm actually there every week. I have a teammate from Flipped Lifestyle with me every week. We're on Voxer talking to our participants and hanging out together so that we encourage each other. I wouldn't be where I am without those mastermind text threads from my buddies. I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for those group meetings on Zoom where we're hanging out and inspiring each other. I wouldn't have survived the pandemic in 2020 without my mastermind groups that I hang out in. And, we want to bring that to the community so that we can take this amazing community even to a deeper level. And the roundtable right now is in beta, and I'm prototyping that. And I'm meeting with a group every single Monday night. You don't have to wait for member calls. You can skip the forums. You can come straight to me through Voxer for right now and check that out. It is a 3-month commitment to be in the roundtable. But if you commit to us, we will commit to you and help you take your stuff to the next level as well. So check that link out, the Roundtable Mastermind. That is my personal mastermind within the Flipped Lifestyle community. And we have a good time every single Monday night. It's an awesome thing to hang out in. All right. Next question comes from Kelly Joe. Kelly Joe, I got a daughter named Anna Joe, by the way. I love that middle name. That's also my grandmama's middle name. It was Joe. That's where Anna got her name. Anna Joe got her name. Jocelyn called her grandmother Nana. So we rearranged that and made Anna. And then we took Joe. That was my grandmother's middle name. Her name was Phyllis Joe. And so we took that and we made Anna Joe. So we got that name. Aunt Kelly Joe says, I know it's a beginner question, but do I start building a website for my first idea and then close it if it doesn't work and start another and another, etc.? Yes. One thing at a time. That's exactly right. What we have learned over and over again in online business is no matter how much research you do, no matter how many experts and gurus say it's perfect, this is going to work every time. You ever heard those gurus say that? Who's heard those gurus say that? All right. No matter how much you do it, the only way to know is to go, right? That's my philosophy in life. I wonder what's at the bottom of that airplane leap and if this parachute will work. Let's see. Whee! And you jump, right? It's the only way to know. You got to jump. Right? Hopefully the parachute works. You want the parachute to work, but unfortunately, website building is not as dangerous as skydiving with a broken parachute. So you have nothing to worry about. It ain't going to kill you. It's not going to ruin your career. The worst thing that happens is you look up 3 months later and say, that didn't work. But I learned all those skills that the last success story we just read used to make $1,200 an hour, right? So you're just always learning. We're always stacking. We're always growing. We're always building. We're always figuring out new things. I'm in this program where I'm learning how to do something right now that I need to know how to do it. And I'm back in the role of I've got a mentor and I'm taking coaching and going through this process to learn how to do this stuff, right? We just signed a live. So this deal we just signed with a live event company is basically we are an education partner for this outfit, right? And I'm going to be talking more about this on the podcast and in the community. But basically, they go and they fill big stadiums. Like they have big guests that come and fill stadiums, 2,000, 5,000 people. Then they sell those people into workshops where they introduce them to me and Jocelyn and they sell our products, right, for us. So it's an amazing thing. I have no clue what I'm doing. Jocelyn and I were flying down to Florida to negotiate and talk through this contract with this group. They're amazing people, awesome faith-based group. And they're just awesome. It's totally aligned in mission and values. But I know nothing. Like I feel that right now, like you feel about this website thing. I'm like, I have no idea how this industry works or what's going to happen. Or, I'm going to be making deep sacrifices for the next 6 months. I'm going to be going on the road 3 times a week or 3 times a month, probably for the next 6 months to train a sales team to sell Flipped Lifestyles products. That's going to take time away from other things. I'm going to sacrifice things. And you know what? At the end of it, it may not work. I don't know, but I'm going to do it. And I will know about September or October. I'll know for sure because I'm going to do it, right? So same thing here. Yeah, you start your idea. Yeah, you go all in for 3 to 6 months and you take action and you look up. And the best thing that can happen is, holy cow, I've got an amazing, thriving membership community of incredible people. And I'm making enough money to change my family's future and enough impact to help people around the world, right? The worst thing that can happen is, I started a website and it didn't work. Start a new website. That's all you got to do. Okay. You just can't learn this stuff. You can figure out the beginnings and we can help you take steps along the way, but you just got to take action and do it. So yes, you're exactly right. You're right. I want to see your first website up, Kelly, in the next month, and I want to see what happens. And if you have to pivot, we'll be there for you to help you do it. It's going to be awesome. All right. Let's see. Yeah. I got a lot of t-shirt slogans I'm spitting out today. A shot of Shane. I'm going to do it. You got to know to go. We need a swag store. I need a swag store. All right. So let's see if I got a success story. I think I saw one. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. All right. Our next success story comes from Brooke. Brooke says, success story, first ever price increase starting tonight. Doing the raises and phases strategy that Shane outlined in the last issue of the Membership Masters newsletter. Started a new Facebook ad this week, gained a few new members from both old and new tiers. Hey, you ran a promotion and people joined. That's awesome. That's amazing. Good job, Brooke. Give Brooke a standing ovation. Hey, listen, Brooke has been like, oh gosh, I'm scared to start these Facebook. Oh, I'm scared to raise my prices. I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Right. But hey, she took action and now she has a chance, an opportunity to succeed, and good things are happening. Awesome stuff. Good job, Brooke. Brooke is an amazing member of the roundtable too. So if you want to hang out with somebody who's taking action and making things succeed, you need to join the roundtable. It's happening on Monday night. It's got a couple spots open right now. All right, let's see. Next question comes from Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Jennifer, I'm back in action in the Flipped Lifestyle community. I'm ready to go. Here's my question. I'm launching my membership in 2 weeks with a mini summit/challenge model. My audience loves short challenges or summits. Awesome. Way to know your audience. But what I'd like direction on is what 1 to 3 things can I do to keep growing my audience after that launch? Podcasting more regularly again is definitely on the list. Okay, so Jennifer is a podcaster. This is amazing. So here's how we kind of view this. I view like the Flipped Lifestyle community is our immediate family. That's kind of how we think about it, right? Well, no, that's not a good example. The Flipped Lifestyle community is like our church, kind of like, right? That's our community. That's our fellowship. That's our group of people. That's our like-minded, family-focused entrepreneurs out to change their family's future. People using their God-given talents and experiences to make things happen in their life, right? Like that's that's our closest group. And we call those our members, okay? Now, we consider our audience, right? Our audience, like the Flipped Lifestyle audience, people maybe not in the community, but that listen to me on the podcast or listen to us be interviewed or listen or consume our free content, right? Our audience is just kind of the next circle out, right? So I'm a Baptist. I'm a Southern Baptist. So like I go to this church and it's a Baptist church, and it's kind of like all the other Baptists are kind of in that audience. It's like they don't go to church with me. They're not sitting in the pew beside me, but we're all, yeah, we're Southern Baptists, right? That's how we grew up. That's how we are. Now I got to go out in the world to convert people, right? I got to go out in the world, right? If you want to grow your audience outside of promotions, you got to go out into the world. You got to find other people, other podcasters, other people creating the same content you're creating, and you got to go get in front of their people and be the evangelist for your brand, right? You got to go out and be that. So if you want to grow your audience, I would say in times of sprinting of these summits, these open challenges, like open close challenges, focus totally on your email list, focus totally on your audience and your podcast, focus totally on your people. But if you want to grow the audience, that's the people that listen to your podcast. You need to go find other people in a similar space and bring them to your podcast, which brings them to your membership, right? So that's what you need to do. You need to put yourself out there. You need to go out there. If you can target people, like Amy Porterfield was on my podcast recently. It's not out yet, but I can target her audience when she comes on. You best believe I'm going to spend money to put, hey, who's this dude hanging out with Amy Porterfield? Right. I'm going to put myself, if I interviewed Pat Flynn, if I interviewed anybody else, if I went on Pat's show, I've ran ads at other people's podcasts. Like I went on Pat Flynn the second time we went on Pat Flynn's Smart Passive Income podcast. Pat Flynn's audience is in Facebook as an audience you can target with ads. Right. So I ran traffic to Pat's website so that his audience would discover me. Right? Because I'm out in the world. I'm trying to find new people to discover me, then come to my podcast. That makes them our audience. Hey, you're a part of us now. Well, welcome. Now join, and now you're a member. You're in the family group, right? So like that's how you got to do it. In between those launches, you got to get yourself out there. You got to get yourself out there more. You got to be more prolific when it comes to these new opportunities, or you've got to target your like brand at other people you can target in the algorithms or keyword searches so that more people discover you. You got to be discovery, follower, audience. You have to have a strategy for all three levels. Okay. Now I know you're an action taker, Jen, so you're gonna get out there and you're gonna crush it. It's gonna be awesome. All right. Like someone just said, I found you. So here's some confirmation there. Jonathan says, I found you through John Lee Dumas. Yeah. I mean, John Lee Dumas. I mean, Entrepreneurs on Fire. I think I'm the only, there's not many, but only I'm a 3-time guest on Entrepreneurs on Fire. I've been on there 3 times. Twice myself and once with Jocelyn. Right. So, and then Jennifer, who asked that question, just said, I found you on Pat. Yeah, because I'm going out to get people to drag them back to my podcast, right? And then bring them into our fold. Okay. So like, yeah, I'm prolific with that, but you're never going to get away with only one strategy. That's not going to happen. You got to have ads. You got to have opportunities to go guest, which you can exchange people and interview guests. There's lots of ways to do that. We can talk about that in the forums. You got to get like in publications. Like we constantly watch this thing called Harrow for newspapers and magazines, writers who are looking for guests on their stuff. There's so many opportunities out there. You just got to go out and you got to get them. All right. All right. Let's see if I got another win here. I think. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Let's do this one. All right. Our next success story comes from Jennifer. Jennifer says, all caps, love the new Flipped Lifestyle accountability Zoom meetings. Carrie, Angela, are y'all listening to this? Hand in here. All right. The new Flipped Lifestyle accountability meeting. I attended one yesterday and I got so much done. I'm ready to film the rest of my videos tonight and take even more action. I have so much momentum. Most of us turned on our video, so there was no room to get off our video, so there was no room to get distracted. We could see everyone. We could hang out. We could hear the Flip Lifestyle team working away, and it was just amazing to get things done for an hour. What a genius idea. Jennifer's amazing. Jennifer went to one of our new accountability sessions. Now, these are for Flip Lifestyle community members. It's kind of like this. We're going to come into a Zoom room, come in, hang out. It's not just me running it. You're going to get to hang out with members of the Flip Lifestyle team who are actually doing work. Like when Hannah is there and hanging out with you guys, she's editing the Flip Lifestyle podcast. When Carrie's there, she's serving you in the forums in the community. When Angela's there, she's probably trying to figure out how to get me under control and get me on schedule and make sure I show up for everything in the next day. Because that's Angela's main job. When John's, so we're doing these accountability sessions now, like co-working. We want to give you more chances to hang out together and get stuff done. And somebody else wrote in today and said, it might have been you, Jennifer, I don't remember, but it said, that hour was like having a rocket strapped to my back getting stuff done. So make sure you're paying attention in the Flip Lifestyle community. Make sure you're checking those inboxes. We're working on improving that system. So we got more of a calendar or something that we can, I think there's a calendar of events inside of the Flip Lifestyle forums and community group. So you're going to be able to do a lot more of these. We're going to be adding these groups, but these co-work sessions, they're just to hang out. They're just to be surrounded by other people that are just like you, and they're to get stuff done. You can block off those hours of time to work. So awesome stuff, Jennifer. Way to use the community like it was supposed to be used. When you take action and good things happen. And Jennifer is also a member of my round table. It's awesome seeing all these round table people making things happen. So if you want to check out Shane's, that's me. That was third person because I read that over here on a script. But if you want to check out my round table, my roundtable mastermind, we meet every Monday night. We hang out, we hold each other accountable. We talk to each other about our struggles in our business. We celebrate each other's wins. And right now I am leading that group. It is a 3-month commitment. I only want serious people who are ready to move their business forward. It is not just for established business owners. We kind of have 2 pods within the mastermind right now of more established people and people who are just starting out. So whether you're just launching your business, you need some accountability, and you want to hang out, you can do that. You can also talk to me and ask questions as well in Voxer. All right. Our next question comes from Natalie. Natalie says, Facebook ads or Google ads for promoting content? This is going to be a short answer. Both or neither. You have to test them and see what works for your space. There is no possible way to answer that question until you test it. I would usually tell people to start with Facebook ads because they're easy to figure out. If you're a little more tech savvy, you might want to try Google ads, or YouTube ads are a good thing. There's Pinterest ads, there's Instagram ads. Your ads are going to be a lot like your content. What do you want to create? What social media platform do you want to hang out on? Because you're going to spend a lot of time there if you're running ads. And what does your audience like to contribute or consume? Maybe all your audience is on Facebook. Maybe your audience is on Pinterest. Maybe people love Twitter, right? So you need to find that intersection of the ads you want to create and the platforms that your audience consumes, and that's going to be probably the perfect ad game right there. We're going in more into Facebook ads right now. That might change because they're about to change some massive things. Apple has done something that's going to cause targeting to be a lot harder on their platforms, so that's going to affect Facebook pretty mightily. So we may be looking at YouTube and Google ads down the road too. And don't forget partnerships. Make partnerships with people if you want to spend some money. Buy your way onto ads. We were talking about John Lee Dumas earlier. John Lee Dumas now charges $5,000 to be on his show. But if you want to get a big audience quick, why not pay for it? Because there's big podcasters out there that will let you on their show for money. And that's ad costs, no different than buying attention in any other way. All right, Natasha says, I am about 50% done with my content for my membership. She has a nursing membership. She's in the nursing space. My membership will offer study resources for nurses. I know the answer to this question because it's in the first sentence. Should I wait? Until all the content is completed to launch? Also, I'm not tech savvy, so should I hire a Kajabi specialist? Okay, so there's two questions here that are kind of related. Number one, the answer to should I wait ... for anything anyone ever posts after it is always no. I'll say almost always. I'll give myself a 1% out. 99% the answer is no. No, you don't have to wait. You need now if it's some kind of curriculum, you need the first probably month or two, just because your people can't take all your content. Like for example, I have a website for U.S. history teachers called ushistoryteachers.com. And if I was just starting that site today, I might have a year curriculum planned that I'm going to put in because you teach for 185 days in the school year, right? So, but if I just had the first 2 months done, I could launch because they can't go forward. Like they can't take all the content. Like they can't do it physically because they have to actually go in and consume and use the content, right? I'd say it's probably the same thing here. Is if you've got a curriculum map or something like that, you can just put out a couple months of content, and then you really don't want to create all your content. That's such a huge mistake people make when they launch a membership site. Guys, until you get members, you're not going to know what to create. You're guessing. And I don't care if you are the avatar and you've been through it. What we teach now is so evolved from what we did in 2012 to 2013. We've just been stacking and layering things on it. And Brooke, we got a comment here from another nurse. Brooke says, I have a membership for nursing students, and I literally built out this semester as the beta group was working through it, right? So like, you can even in a curriculum environment, you can do this. Your people can't work ahead. Like they just can't. Like in the true way you should consume the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint, your first month would be avatar and idea and getting that right and where you're comfortable with it. And then the second month will be product and membership. And then the third month will be something else. And the fourth month will be something else. Like this stuff doesn't happen overnight. You can't possibly consume and take action on everything in a membership in 1 month. So, so that's your answer is no, you should not wait. Get the first month done, second month, and go and build it with your people as you get them. If you have any kind of audience, or start building audience while you're filling out the rest of it. Now, Kajabi is our recommendation for anyone who is starting, building, or growing an online business right now that's based on memberships, because it's so easy. You don't have to be tech savvy. Literally, if you can use Microsoft Word, you should be able to figure out Kajabi. They hold you by the hand in their trainings. Their help in customer service is incredible. And of course, we have the forums inside the Flipped Lifestyle community where you can ask questions. And with confidence that we practice what we preach. We're using Kajabi. When Carrie's doing customer service, she's doing Kajabi, right? When Angela's making pipelines and sales funnels, it's in Kajabi. When Hannah's making blog posts for membership masters, it's in Kajabi. We have dozens now members who are using Kajabi as well, right? And if you go to flippedlifestyle.com/Kajabi, if anybody is just now searching for your membership site, that's flippedlifestyle.com/Kajabi. you can get a free trial and you can try it out and make sure you can handle it. Now, there are specialists who can do more advanced things if you want to upgrade stuff later. So that is available. There's a whole ecosystem of people who work on Kajabi, and they'll be able to take care of you too. All right, let's see here. I got it. All right, here we go. Make sure I don't miss anybody's win. I'm looking. I saw one. I'm scrolling too fast. Let me see here. Here we go. Alexandria has a win today that she'd like to share on the Flipped Lifestyle Q&A. While planning my membership, I saw an opportunity to host a quick. Oh, wait, did I already read this one? I already read that one. See? I didn't hit done right there. All right, let's just go to the next question. All right, our next question is from Shara. Shara says, I created and sell a planner for school administrators. Should I build a community around the planner with a free Facebook group before creating a paid membership? No. Well, So I would probably, in that case, I would give away the planner for free completely. And then I would sell a community of people who use the planner, right? Brendan Bouchard does this. He has a planner that you can get, and he's got a community of people that pay like $8 a month or something. And they're all dedicated to this calendar and sharing what their goals are and going through the questions and all that good stuff, right? So that seems like the planner as a product, as a lead into the community of people, like a community of school administrators dedicated to being, more, organized and structured, and everybody's using the same resources and tools. And that would be how I would build that community. If I was doing that, I would build the community around the planner. And I would not have a free Facebook group. I might have a free Facebook group called School Administrators. And school administrators could come there and they could vent and they could hang out, and you could have like theme days, like Motivation Monday and, Funny Friday. What was the funniest story in your school this week? Like the free Facebook group would be just for social things. And then the paid group would be built around the concept of the planner and your methodology as for school administrators. That's how I would build that for sure. And a follow-up question to this that is related, Shara asked, can I use a Facebook group for a paid membership to cut costs in the beginning, or just go ahead and use something like Kajabi? If you're using Kajabi, you should do what we do, is we build community through our Facebook group. This is something new. We've only been doing this a few months now. We have a hybrid model going where all online business questions and support happen inside of the forums, inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. If you need help with your business, you have to be paying, and you have to go into there because we are paying for support people to help you, right? You're paying me to get people and to get us to help you. So, but we're doing all of our social stuff and fun stuff and hanging out and just building, the faith. So take the answer I gave to the podcast question a minute ago, where you want to go out to strangers and bring them back and turn them into audience. Now the audience is kind of like part of your fold. So you're like it's the Southern Baptists, right? And then your church is the membership, like that. There's these layers that you peel back. The Facebook group is kind of the bridge between that, right? So it's like it's a revival where you bring a bunch of churches together. No, that's what it is. That's just my church analogy, but you're basically the Facebook group for us is where our audience and our members can be meshed together and kind of hang out. This is something new that we've developed. I don't know of anybody else that's actually doing this. It was hilarious because when I was telling Amy Porterfield about this the other day, she was freaking out. She was like, "Oh my gosh, why are we not doing that?" And I'm like, "I know, that's amazing, right?" So, but it's like this place where the audience and the members can stay together, and then the service that you provide lives in your paid membership, right? So that's probably how I would do that. You're going to have to do it as well. And remember, guys, in the beginning, do whatever you can do to invest in your future. When you pay $149 a month for something like Kajabi, that's an investment in your family's future. It's no different than putting money in your IRA, your retirement account, or anything else, right? So you need to make sure that you're investing in your family's future, and also you're getting a lot of value. The reason we support Kajabi is because it does everything anyone needs to start, build, and grow a membership site, period. You can build a website on it. You can have your email marketing on it. You have all your sales pages on it. You can manage your customers through it. It's all you need, right? But supplemental tools like a Facebook group can really add a lot of value to your members and your people. And you need to do that as well. And Shara also has a win. Her win is she has finished designing and creating the 2021-22 edition of her planner, which is her product. And she is ready to start The pre-sale, we said it publicly. You have to do it now. I'm going to put it on you February 15th. You got to do it by February 15th. I want to see a celebration in a February success story of you launching your pre-sale, Shara, and we're going to support you all the way to do that. Give Shara a standing ovation for a couple of great questions and a great success story as well. All right, our next question, going to go a little more rapid fire here. I've got a few questions left, and I'm just going to do the success stories along the way. So I'm going to answer as many questions as I can as fast as possible in the next few minutes, okay? All right, a lot of great conversation going on over in the chat box as well. Love everybody supporting each other and helping each other. And let me call this out too. Here's what's the beautiful thing about online business. Here's the beautiful thing about the Flipped Lifestyle community that makes it different than offline business or anything else you can do in the world. Did you notice a minute ago, someone asked a question about starting a website to help nursing students? And the first person to jump in and help was another nurse who has a website about helping nursing students. How amazing is that? That's collaboration. That's helping each other succeed. That's understanding that there are 7 billion people on the planet Earth and none of us can serve them all, but we can help each other serve them, right? We can go out and we can connect and we can help each other grow. And especially if we're in the same space, especially if we're doing the same thing. Hey, listen, I talk every day to people who are in the same space as me, doing the same thing. I have had my 2 biggest quote unquote competitors on the Membership Masters podcast, y'all, because I love those guys. They can help us, so we can help them. And listen, all I care about is that people's futures are changed and that families understand that there's an option for them that's not what they've been taught their whole life. And we're just trying to help each other and serve each other. And there's some people that are going to go to them. Some people are going to go to Mike Morrison because they like his Scottish accent. And there's some people are going to come to me because they love my Kentucky hats, because I'm wearing one right now. Go Big Blue. And that's just the way it is. And we all need to have that mentality of helping each other. And that's what I love about the community is everybody jumps in and helps each other all the time. You guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's go through some rapid fire questions. I'm going to hit people. If you've already answered or asked a question, I may skip your second question because I want to get to some people who have not got to ask a question yet. All right, next question comes from Scott. Scott says, is the info for how to create your website when you reach that point coming up in the blueprint? I'm on video lesson 2.1. Yes, I am meeting actually with a sales team next week because we have to design what that looks like to make sure that it's the best possible product out there. We took our old system down, Scott, because it was getting a little outdated because that involves technology. And I have that on the calendar, or well, I have it on the to-do list for later this month. And it will be put on the calendar by Jocelyn or Angela eventually for me to do it. So that is coming. It's not going to take me long to film it. It's going to be about 5 videos. And I'm going to make sure that I can do it as evergreen as possible. So we are actually planning that starting Monday. And we're going to have a brand new course inside the community. It's going to be based all on strategy of what you should do with any website. So it's going to be definitely applicable to anything you're using, whether it's Wix or WordPress or whatever. But I am going to be using Kajabi to build everything. And we will be rocking that out very soon. Great question. Awesome question. Awesome stuff. All right. Jonathan asks, I am dealing with a bit of imposter syndrome. My membership is to teach real estate wholesalers, which is a strategy to make money in real estate with little or no money. This is something that I have, capital HAVE. Jonathan is rocking the real estate wholesale market, done before, but I am not actively doing it now. Great. This is a great question. Should, I love how you worded this. I teach this even though I'm not actively doing it. 1000%. I'm not teaching history. I promise you, I'm not turning off their monthly payments. I taught history for 10 years. I have all the wisdom and experience that's needed to tell people how to teach their history class. I am not a football coach anymore, but I still understand how the X blocks the O. And if anybody wants my playbook, they are welcome to send me money for it. Jocelyn is not an elementary librarian anymore. That did not stop her from building a website. She ran that website for years after she was elementary. She still had the wisdom and experience and the God-given talents to go out and tell other people how they could properly teach inside of a library. Just because you quit doing something or you're not doing it anymore doesn't mean you forget how to do it, right? So yeah, for sure. 100% you should do this because you know it and you can teach it and you can go. Hey, listen, there may come a day where I'm not podcasting, right? Like our long-term vision for the Flip Lifestyle community is to reach hundreds of thousands of people, right? And right here in the membership. And, you know, if we're going to accomplish that, Shane can't be doing everything on the mic. I'm going to have to hire other podcast hosts and let some of that go. Can I still tell people how to play a podcaster? Heck yeah, I can. I mean, if an author who's written 10 books and stops writing, can they teach other authors how to write? Of course they can, right? So yes, this is a 100%. Anybody with imposter syndrome, you don't have to be doing it. I do believe that you need to have done it. I do believe that you need to be able to prove that you can show other people how to do it, so that you can go out and ethically teach it. But you don't have to keep doing that thing to teach people how to do it anymore, because that's not possible. You can't. Sometimes the mentor has to leave behind the thing to teach other people how to do it, right? And that's called specialization, is all that is. So yeah, 100% you should be doing that. Excellent. And you can even talk about not doing it anymore, or you can not talk about not doing it anymore. All your stories are going to come from when you were doing it. So just do that. You'll be fine. All right, our next question comes from Nikki. Nikki says, I never fully released my website, and I've been building it on WordPress from the old Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. Trying to decide on budget-wise overall. Should I just abandon that and start again, or finish it out on what I've built? I'm never against, if I find, let's put it this way. If I find a better domain, I'm changing my domain. If I find a better platform, I'm changing platforms, right? There's a tipping point of when it becomes worth it. And that's only, you're gonna have to decide that. If you're not that far in, haven't really launched it yet, it's not gonna take you long to switch something over. Like if you're at the point in your business where you're not launched and you have absolutely, positively, 100% no members, and you're not that far into creating thing, if you're less than 50 blog posts or 50 podcasts, moving stuff is not that big a deal, right? So the answer is, wow, that looks right. Now, what you don't want to do is jump around. You don't want to get shiny object syndrome. But if you find something that you think would work better, you can totally do that. And you could jump, especially if you're just not that far in. So the principles will be the same, Nikki. You know, when you build a page, it doesn't matter where you build the page. There's just the one little nut of information that's, hey, this is applicable to this platform, basically. But most of it's the same anyway. So you're just trying to decide what you're doing. And if you haven't launched yet, go ahead and switch to Kajabi. Okay. All right. We've got, let me see. I've already answered that one. Let's see, Darren and Jonathan, and we'll skip you guys because you've already got a question in. You can drop those questions. If I don't get your question, you just go post it in the forums and we'll get to it over there. Any suggestions on how to limit who can join your membership? This is interesting. This question comes from Karen. Karen says, I was thinking of having an application, but I'm worried that the extra step would cause some people to exit my funnel. I can make my target obvious through the copy in my ad and landing page, but not everyone reads that. So I have concern that not everyone who clicks to join will be the right fit. To explain, think political parties, Democrats and Republicans. I don't know. Some of them would like to join to fight each other. And if I did some kind of thing that was political, would love any advice. Okay. So there's two things here. If you're doing something political, you need to be extremely overt in your copy on which side of the aisle you would fall on. These memberships are too amazing, by the way. Like if you can bring people together around common beliefs and platforms, like they're going to be rabid fans of what you do, right? Think of all the, you know, why do some people watch MSNBC and some people watch Fox News and some people watch CNN? They gravitate to where they feel comfortable around their people. And I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. That's not what we're here for. Okay. So like definitely you want to be totally overt. I don't think that I would put an actual gate on it to make sure, because sounds like a broad membership. So I don't think you're going to have to do that. A gate like an application is usually only good when you're launching to a big audience and you want to protect the initial culture. I mean, a huge audience, and you want to protect you want to make sure you seed the initial culture of the community with the right people. Like Pat Flynn did this when he launched his membership. We were talking about it beforehand, and he was asking, and we were just going back and forth talking about it. And he said that he was going to do an application, even though it was a lower ticket membership and they weren't working with him. And we got to talking about it. And he's like, I just want to make sure the first couple hundred people get in are fine. That way the culture is seeded. So you can totally do that in the beginning. I don't think you're going to have to do that here. Just do what we do. We wield the band hammer with impunity. Like if you come into the Flipped Lifestyle community and you try to derail us and get us off topic or off mission, I don't care. I ain't scared of nobody or nothing. And we're here to talk about changing our family's future with our God-given talents and experiences. We're here to talk about online business and marketing. And you're out. Bye. So I'm more of a let everybody in. Innocent until proven creepy. Right? You're innocent until proven guilty. So like, come on in. It's fine. Whatever you want to do, you want to talk about. Make sure that you're overt in all of your language. Like, I mean, there's a clear vibe to the Flipped Lifestyle community. When it comes to like we're family focused. We're not trying to, buy Lamborghinis and all those stories are amazing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that's not really what we're doing. We're pretty overt with that on our community. Me and Jocelyn are in all the marketing. It's a husband and wife team running the show. So you're gonna filter out a lot of people. Also, too, on the free trial question, if you ask for a credit card, people aren't going to put in their credit card number even for a free trial unless they actually want to be in your thing they're not just going to join to cause problems, right? And if they do, you delete them and you go away. I mean, I think in the last 8 years, there's been like 2 instances of knuckleheadedness where I've just been like, kick them out. Who cares? We don't need your money. I don't care. I don't need your membership. I'm here to help you and you're here to cause problems. And 2 of those things don't jive and I'm in charge. So bye. Right. So that's just the way it is. And don't be afraid to fire your members. You don't need anybody. You want to help everybody. And but don't ever get in a situation where you need them. Right. And my last point is, Karen, if your audience is already really big and you think that there are people who might not be a perfect fit, your first 100 members you could make an application for. But if you've got a really small audience, you need people to come in to figure out what that culture is in the first place. All right, Rebecca Fuller. Let's see. Hold on a second. All right, Rebecca's question. Is this a success story or a question? Oh, I got it. Okay. All right, our next success story comes from Rebecca. Rebecca says, I guess I'll share a success from this month. I upsold my members into a mini course and made 10,000. Is that 10K? 10,000 extra dollars in one weekend? What are you people doing right now? You guys are killing it. This is like the craziest success story. Y'all have been dropping 5-figure days on me for the past hour and a half. What is happening? This is incredible. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. That is, hold on, I'm screenshotting that one too. That's a good one. I got to go show Jocelyn and I'm going to text her that. She's on the road right now. Jocelyn is our little girl has a cheerleading competition this weekend. We had to divide and conquer because it was no parents were allowed to watch. So there was no reason for both of us to go. But Rebecca, that's incredible. Virtual, the chat room's on fire, blowing up right now. But man, who's inspired by $10,000 weekends? Is anybody inspired by that? You go out on the weekend, you send an email on Friday, you come back Monday, and there's $10,000 sitting there. It's amazing. It's amazing. And Rebecca followed the golden rule of marketing. She has a bunch of members. What do you do? How do you make more money in your business? You sell people something, and then you sell the people that paid you something else. That's how you make more money. You just serve them in a different way. Oh man, you're onto something here, Rebecca. You need to do one of those mini courses like once a quarter for cash flow. That way you can have ad money. Like that could be just your ad budget now for the next quarter. That's amazing. Awesome stuff, man. Oh man, the mini course already sold 6 times. That's cool. That's cool. Didn't have to create anything. That's fine. You got to create it once and sell it forever. I love it. Absolutely love it, man. I'm fired up today. I'm going to be high as a kite. Jocelyn's going to be glad she's out of town later because I'm going to be like a talking monkey the rest of the day. Just I'm just going to be running around like nonsense. I may not sleep until Monday. I'm just going to. We're just gonna keep going. Sometimes I cut these Q&As off for an hour and a half. I got nothing to do. You guys are buckled in. I'm fired up. There's been like $100,000 floating around the chat room today. All these success stories. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We got to get more people. Can you imagine that I know that some people, we rotate these calls between like 12 and 3, and every once in a while I'll do one at night just to kind of give everybody a chance to come. But there's some people missing out here that were not at this member call today because we're fired up about it. Got to send the replay out. All right, June let's see. Okay, here we go. My next question comes from June. June said, "I love that name. That's a beautiful classic name. That is a good name, June." June says, "Shane, I've been a registered nurse for 43 years. Besides patient care, I've done 3 startups for home health and hospice over the last 18 years. I've made over $5 million. June, woo! June. June's just coming in and saying, y'all be quiet for a minute. I need to teach y'all something, and then I'll ask a question. So, June, man, that is awesome. Awesome stuff. Let's see. I have broad contact and referral list. That's great. I need to find a way to convert my marketing and business develop experiences into something for myself. I don't know how to utilize your services. Please help me. Oh, this is great. So basically, June, let me get a drink of coffee because I need to be more excited today. June said, basically, she's got a wealth of God-given talents and experiences. We've actually got a new way we've been kind of talking about the Flipped Lifestyle process. It's a monetizing wisdom. That's kind of what we're kind of leaning toward right now. I was talking to a CEO of a company the other day, and he learned about me and Jocelyn for the first time. And he thought our slogan, how to get, your God-given talents and experiences to get 100 people to pay you $50 a month to make 60 grand a year, or 200 to make 120. He said, I've never heard anything that simple in my life. And he's like, you monetize wisdom. And I was like, yeah, man, monetize wisdom. I like that. I'm gonna start using that in some marketing. And that's what June's question here is, how do you take what you already know and how you turn it into something that can help other people and you can make money off of it? Well, that's what the membership model is, June. So what we got to do is we got to figure out, you have a wealth of experience. I mean, there's somebody that was you, right? 43 years ago, before you started your career as a registered nurse, before you did 3 startups in home health and hospice, for the last 18 years, there's somebody out there that's looking to be what you are, right? And make an impact like you have. Okay. And all these people on your contact and your referral list, there's people that might be customers on there. There's people that might be influencers on there who can support you in this path. But really what you're trying to decide is how you're going to make an impact. How are you going to make an impact through your membership? How are you going to pass down this wisdom and experience and and take your God-given talents and gift that to another group of people who would love to have a mentor just like you, right? Your story reminds me of a guy named Aaron Walker. Aaron Walker has a website called A View from the Top. Aaron Walker is he's a guy I have so much respect for. He's well connected. He was the first advertiser on the Dave Ramsey radio show. And he was in a mastermind with Dave Ramsey and Dan Miller and all these people for years and years and years. And he had ran multiple businesses and construction, pawn shops, you name it, he's done it, right? And he retired. And these guys that he hung out with, Dan Miller especially, was like, you cannot go quietly into the night. What are you going to do? Sit in a rocking chair for the rest of your life? And he said, you got to take all those lessons you've learned and you got to help you got to pass those to other people or you can help them. You've got so much wisdom and experience, Aaron. You've got to go out and build that. And that's when he built his product, his business. It's called A View from the Top. He wrote a book. He has a mastermind called Iron Sharpens Iron, which is a 7-figure membership site. And this is what you need to do, June. You need to go out and say, okay, what are the lessons that I can teach people? What space am I going to go into? And I'm going to make videos that teach them that. And how am I going to connect all the people that want to learn this wisdom from me? I'm going to put them in a community. And then how am I going to provide leadership and inspiration and motivation and pass on what I've learned as the leader of that community? And you're going to turn that into a membership community. Lets you kind of scale your impact and your influence so that all that stuff can go out and help other people too. So what you need to do, June, is you need to go to the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint, right? We need to crystallize your idea. That's it right now. Like, you've got all this experience. I need you to go watch those 3 videos and decide the first path you're going to try. Because that's what you're doing when you're picking an idea, people. You're not trying to hit a home run. You're trying to pick up the bat and learn how to swing it. That's what an idea is. And then we're going to go up to the plate and we're going to take a few swings, right? And we're going to slowly get you into a place where you're like, this is who I am. This is who I want to serve. This is the result that I'll give them. And I'm going to do that by building a community around that. So you could be, you could have massive influence with that much experience. Anyone that's not made $5 million in healthcare and hospice is behind you in wisdom. And so you're going to pass that on. So The blueprint is designed to start at the top and work to the bottom and use the forums to ask questions along the way. And I know that if you get in there and really decide what you want to do with the next chapter of your story, you're going to be able to do that, and you're going to be able to help a lot of people too, June. So I hope I answered your question. Jump into the blueprint right after this call and take that out. Everybody give June a standing ovation for being awesome. Can we just give June a standing ovation for just like having a ridiculous amount of a wealth of experience that she's going to pass on to other people, and that she has the desire to go out and do that? You know how many people just do sit in the rocking chair and keep that and take it with them? Oh man, that's inspiring to see somebody going out and get after it. Now, I also don't want to date June. I don't know how old June is, but she was a nurse for 45 years, and she did something else for 18 years. So she's been killing it for a while. You know what I mean? For everybody out there, if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, do you know that 98% of people make the majority of their wealth after they turn 40 years old? Do you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that influencers like Dave Ramsey and Michael Hyatt didn't truly gain their foothold until their 50s? Did you know that? And did you know that Colonel Sanders didn't cook and sell his first bucket of chicken till he was 60-something years old? Did you all know that? I hope you do, because you do now. So guess what? I don't care who you are, how old you are. You better go do something, because, I'm 43 next month. No, 2 months. I'm going to be 43. I'm just getting started. We have just begun what we're doing over here at Flip Lifestyle, and I expect everybody else to do it too. All right, let's see. Already answered a question from this person, or answered one from this one. All right, we've got a question here. I'm just going to go about 13 more minutes. We're throwing a 2-hour member call this month because I'm having fun. All right, our next question comes from Lizzie. Lizzie says, hi, Shane. I have a membership for special education teachers. Awesome stuff. I have about 5 recorded trainings on there and around 30 resources. Wonderful. How much content should I add each week? Okay, this is a good question. So this is pacing after we've overcome the fear of launching with too little content, because that is a fear and you got to get over it. That's a great. Now, the next question is, okay, well, how often should I get this content to come out? Okay. And Lizzie said, how much content should I release each week? It's not a curriculum per se, just a membership to support, train, guide. I need to have consistent things coming out. I do a live weekly webinar on Mondays. P.S. I got 39 new members using one of your promotion strategies from the Membership Masters newsletter in the last 14 days. Combo success story in question. Give Lizzie a standing ovation. She's got 39 people. She almost added 40 people. Imagine 40 people giving you $50 a month. That would be $2,000 a month if you did that. That's amazing, man. 40 new members coming in is income and revenue. Wow, well done. See, when you read the newsletter, Membership Masters, go to membershipmasters.com. That's my newsletter for marketing your membership. If you've already launched, you're going to get more members. It's amazing. All right. Awesome success story there. And now let's talk about this. What's the frequency of content? Now, I would actually say on those member calls, I would pick one every other call. I would make more of a workshop. Are you doing that? Are you making webinars to release content right now? Lizzie, if you're still in the chat, because you asked this question a little while ago, if you're still there, let me know. Are you still? No. Okay. So are they Q&A? Is that what you're doing? You're doing Q&As, right? On these weekly calls. If your weekly calls are Q&As, I would block some at the end. Okay, I gotcha. So I would just plan your content calendar and use the live calls to record them to make the content. I would probably make 2 of those calls Q&A only. And as you're building out and fleshing out your thing, that way you can do 2 things in one. And usually, if you release, it depends. When you're bulking up your content, I would say at least 2 a month. Once you get to a good point where you feel comfortable, there's a lot of stuff in there. Like nobody could do everything in there in 3 months or less or more. It would take them 3 months or more to do that. Then I would back up and never release more than once a month. And we don't. I mean, I'd say we might put something new in the blueprint once a quarter, and it usually comes from these Q&As. Like if we have a question inside the forums or something and it keeps getting asked, then we will put a Q&A answer that I've done that relates to the problem, and I'll just stick it in there inside of the course. So you don't have to create your goal with your membership, guys, is to make it as evergreen as possible. Get to a point and stop creating content and focus entirely on marketing, and then get into a rotation where maybe you market for a year or 2 and then make a little content, market for a year or 2, update your content. So have a nice evergreen plan. you're on a good pace right now. You're doing live calls and serving your members with workshops. That's going to flesh everything out for members that come in later. And then once you get to a certain point, back up to once a month, back up to once a quarter. And then eventually you shouldn't be updating your content more than once a year, right? That's a good spring cleaning project to go through and see what's outdated, get rid of it, and replace it. Okay. Awesome question. All right. We got another win from the Flipped Lifestyle chat room today. Natalie says, I just created my first pipeline in Kajabi. Well done. That takes a lot of courage to go out there and build that first pipeline, get your copy. Now, the next step is get it out to the world. Awesome stuff, Natalie. You're ahead of so many people who've never even signed up for Kajabi. So well done. You're killing it. You're moving forward. That's what it takes. All right, next question. Let's see. I got 2 more questions that I'm going to answer. Maybe 3. I'll do 3 more questions. We're gonna settle in here at 2:00. Before I answer these last 3 questions, do want to remind everybody that I have a weekly meeting with my Roundtable Mastermind. I personally lead that Roundtable Mastermind. I just dropped a link over in the chat for that. It's Flipped Lifestyle. That's too complicated. Just click it if you see it. If you don't, you missed out. But I have opened 2 spots during this member call. If anybody would like to join the Roundtable, that is a mastermind for accountability, where each week we share wins. If we're stuck, we talk about it as a group. And it's designed to bring a lot of people together who are the most dedicated, most excited, most I'm doing this and nothing's stopping me people in the Flipped Lifestyle community together with me for a live call each week where we can hang out and have fun. And also for this cohort, you've got access to me through Voxer. So you can ask daily questions to me. You can kind of come to it's like the Disney Fast Pass. You've been to Disney World, they give you a Fast Pass, right? You just got to walk by those people to the front of the line. That's how the Roundtable Mastermind works. But you do have to make a 3-month commitment. All the details are at that page in the chat box right now. And also Jocelyn, I think this is the link for that. I'm going to type it in here. flippedlifestyle.com/Jocelyn. I believe that goes there. Jocelyn has also opened up a few one-on-one calls. Those are very tactical, surgical strikes into your business. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you got a ton of chaos and you're just like, man, if I could just talk to Jocelyn for 45 minutes, I think I could figure this out. She'll take your chaos and she'll take your clutter and she'll turn it into a to-do list full of next steps. So check both those programs out. And everything will be awesome. And right in the middle of the Q&A, I love it when this happens. Brooke just sold a 6-month membership package while in the Q&A on the member call. We got people selling. Listen, you're doing one thing, you're making money with the other thing. And we've got Brooke. Brooke just posted in the chat. I just sold a 6-month membership while on the call. High five you, Brooke, in the chat. Good job. It's awesome stuff. We got people making money on the calls. We got people making $10,000 in a weekend. We got people running promotions for membership masters and doing 5-figure days. This is an absolutely ridiculous call and awesome stuff, man. I'm proud of you guys. You guys are doing awesome. All right. So first of the last 3 questions. Let me close this one out. Let's see here. Oh, June. I'm just saying you were a part of a $5 million thing. I understand that, but you were a part of that happening in the business. That's amazing. All right. So the next question comes from Alan. Alan says, not sure if this was answered before when the Zoom got cut off, but I wanted to know how to promote your webinars, masterclasses repeatedly to the same audience. For example, I used the Blueprint 14-day email sequence for my first webinar. For my next webinar, I'm using a challenge to push people forward to the masterclass, but I'm not sure how I can continue promoting new webinars without changing something or changing the topic of the webinar. Okay. You never have to change it. Always remember there's some truths in online marketing. All right. If you showed an ad to a webinar to 10,000 people and 100 showed up, there's still 9,900 that will forget you existed and forget they ever saw that ad and never came to your webinar. Right. So if you give me a 10,000 person audience, I can run the same webinar to that audience for 5 years and never milk it. Now, what you do need to change is things that can cause ad and marketing blindness. You need to change the ad every time you run it. You need to change the subject lines of the emails, but 90% of people didn't even read your emails. Right. So you do not have to change that. That it feels true because we're so grounded in the real world. And if I wore the same shirt to work 3 times in a week, my fellow employees would notice, right? But that's not true online. Nobody cares. Everybody, it's like I told my son the other day, he goes, oh man, I got to go see my friends, but I got this and my favorite shirt. I'm wearing it, but it's got a spaghetti stain on it. And I was like, where? And he goes, right here. And he lifts it up and there was like a little stain on it. And I said, nobody cares about your spaghetti stain, son. He said, why, Dad? I said, because they're too worried about the spaghetti stain on their shirt. People got stuff to do. They ain't paying attention to you, Alan. They may see your ad for a brief moment. If they take action, fine. If they scroll on, get them later. It's okay. You want to do the same things over and 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 over again. The same 5 testimonials are on my sales page that were there 5 years ago. Have we got new testimonials? Yes. Are they bigger testimonials? Sure. Are they awesome testimonials? Yeah. But you know what? Everybody that comes to my sales page probably hadn't seen it before. And they sure didn't memorize it like flashcards learning a spelling test, right? So that I don't have to worry about that. They're going to come back and they're going to be reinforced, right? And they're going to see it over and over again. So yeah, you can change your external marketing. Like you need to change your ads, like use a different picture in your ad each time, mix up the words a little bit. But when you run that email campaign again, if you want to change the subject line a little bit, right? But don't change the copy. Just change the date and the links. You do not have to do that when you run these promotions. And if you run a cycle of promotions every 12 weeks, nobody's going to remember what happened 12 weeks ago. They don't even remember what happened in their own life on their own calendar 12 weeks ago. They sure as heck ain't going to remember Alan's ad for his webinar, right? Alan's email for his webinar. Okay. So yeah, I usually will run the same campaign again and just mix up the subject lines, and we'll change the video or the ad, and everything else stays the same. Our sales pages do not change very often. Once a year, maybe. I'm not into. I'm into finding people to see the sales page that haven't seen it before, or finding people that didn't buy to see it again. I'm not into updating my sales page and tweaking stuff all the time. And maybe red will work better than orange as my button. I ain't doing it. Not doing it. That's not how it works, right? So don't worry about that and you'll be fine. But good question. That's a really good question. Awesome question. All right. Paul says, my nose is itching. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Next question comes from Paul. What's up, Paul? Paul says, I am a little behind in the price increases for this month. So we got a promotion going on right now. It's called Raises and Phases. It's in the Membership Masters newsletter for all my subscribers into the newsletter. And what we're doing is we're doing a price increase, and I just showed everybody how to raise your annual and your quarterly and your monthly prices separately so that you can get people to take action at different price points throughout the month instead of just doing it all at once, and you get kind of more money rolling in. And then he says, when I raise the annual, I'll raise it in my public area. What about the sales page for the sale? Do I raise it there too, right? And then talk about the quarterly price going up next, right? Okay, so here's what I do. Okay, I say, like, I don't say that I'm going to close that cart to the email list later, like when all the prices are done. So my emails are all written like, hey, we're raising our prices. The annual price itself is the first one to raise. It's going up tomorrow. Or no, yeah, I say your final notice for getting this price increase is tomorrow. Then tomorrow I'll be like, this is the last time I'm going to remind you about this. All prices raised on February 1st. So that link will kind of still be in people's inboxes trailing, Paul. I don't want to close that right away because some people don't check their email all the time, or maybe they only check email on Friday, or they got 20,000 emails and they never find it. I want to give those people a chance to dig up that gold, right? And then on February 1st, when I raise the monthly price, I'm raising everybody's price. All of them go away forever. We'll actually retire ththose offers in Kajabi so that they can't even be clicked anymore. Okay. But that's how I'm doing it. And then when the monthly price finally raises last, all monthly prices on all sales pages will be changed. We will go in and turn those links off, and there won't even be a way to get to them anymore if they click the link in an email or anything else. So that's how you do that. With your language on your copy, guys, when you're doing something and you're saying something happens on this date, honor the language in your email. If it says this is happening on this date, then you can close a cart. But if you say, like, this is my last reminder, I'm not going to offer you this anymore, this is the last chance I'm going to send it to you, you can let it trail a little bit and give people a chance to open their inbox. And then you do need to turn it off eventually, though, so that nobody can get into it that way. All right. And the final question today comes from Janelle. Janelle says, do you have a lot of people in the nursing space? And if so, what are some ideas they're using for their memberships? We have a lot of people doing a lot of things inside of the Flip Lifestyle community. There are very few niches where people can't find other members in the community as well. That's my dream, actually, Janelle, for my roundtable coaching program is I want to be able to be like, okay, we've got this roundtable. We're going to open this up and we're going to have like educators in a mastermind and healthcare in a mastermind and financial people in a mastermind. And we're going to be able to make these masterminds and fill them up with people, who can do that. And as I figured out, the cost will go down and everybody will be able to go get that next level support. But I would highly recommend, if you're looking for people in the community to connect with, go to the Flipped Lifestyle community forums. We have a thread, actually. It's a really long thread and there's hashtags in it, and you can go tell, what you're doing. You can search by hashtag and you can find like nursing. But we got a lot of people in the healthcare space. Don't get tied into just nursing. That's a little too niche. Like there's a lot of people. We have pharmacists and nurses, and we have doctors, and we have Eastern medicine people. Like there's a lot of people in the health space, right? Health, wealth, and relationships. There's only 3 actual niche markets. Did you know that? Everybody know that? So make sure that you can go in and connect with people in those forums, and go in and tag people and search for nurse in the search bar in the Flipped Lifestyle community forums. And you're going to be able to find and connect with people who get you and understand it. And we got a lot of great people, and everybody's so collaborative, and everybody's in it to help each other as well. All right, guys, we had an amazing, awesome, hilariously fun member call with only a few technical glitches. And if you're still here, thank you for hanging around. Awesome stuff. I want to remind you that I do have a couple spots open that I'm opening for today. I'll leave it open until about, I don't know. We'll leave it open for a couple hours. I'll turn it off at some point today. The sales page to the roundtable, because I like to open it up on the Q&As. And if anybody wants to jump in, I got a little space left for my roundtable mastermind program. It's an awesome program. You get to hang out with me personally on Zoom. We get to see each other and talk one-on-one and hang out on Monday nights. And I hang out with those people, and we go through and we do a hot seat, and everybody shares their wins. And if you're stuck, we talk about it, and we connect with each other and we help each other. But it's a good check-in every week live, and we all need that right now in our lives. We need to be able to see each other and hear each other as the isolation from last year, as we're walking out of this crazy time we've all been through. So we got a couple people saying the roundtable's awesome, totally worth it inside of the chat right now. And even in between, we got you got access to me and my team on an app called Voxer, where we can send messages. So it's your fast pass to the front of the line. Write to me if you need help with your online business. That program does require a 3-month commitment. You got to commit for at least 3 months if you want to be in the roundtable, but you can do that. And then also don't forget, Jocelyn does have a few spots open right now. I'll drop that link one more time too. flippedlifestyle.com/Jocelyn. Woo, Jocelyn's amazing. If you are overwhelmed, or you feel like you are in the middle of chaos and clutter, Jocelyn will take that chaos and clutter. She will organize it and help you figure out your exact next step. And Brooke said Jocelyn's program is amazing and it helped me organize it all. Yes. Thank you, Brooke. You're amazing. And so awesome stuff. So Shara just said the Q&A alone was worth the monthly membership price. How about that? That's a good, thank you. That's amazing. I'm glad you got so much value out of today's calls. And just to think, we do this twice a month, Shara. We do this twice a month. We have this much fun. You can't have this much fun in any other membership or online business training program anywhere on the internet. I guarantee it. I'm going to say that on the membership. I'm going to change my sales page. I ain't updated it in a while. I told you I ain't done it in a year. I'm going to update it. You cannot have this much fun. I'm going to screenshot you, share. That's amazing. Do you know how I thrive? I'm not going to lie. I thrive on compliments, and that made me feel good. Hey, this call was worth it for that comment, Shara. If I'm saying your name, I hope I'm saying your name right. that comment was worth the member call. That's why I stayed 2 hours today, because it was totally worth it. So awesome. I'm not crying, Angela. I cried the other day because somebody told me something good. So yeah, I was crying the other day. But I'm an emotional person, and I'm on a mission to change 100,000 families' future, and I'm here to do it. So we're gonna make it happen. Okay. Yes. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you take massive, massive, massive action. And I hope you follow the lead of all these amazing, successful Flipped Lifestyle community members. Hope you got some answers to your questions today. If you did not, I want you to head over to the Flipped Lifestyle community forums as soon as we log off. All right. And I want you to do that. And also, You can go post in the Facebook group and hang out. I did do a kickoff Q&A in there. If you want to check that out, there's a bonus question over in the Facebook group right now. And I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing and blessed weekend. I hope to see some of you in my roundtable mastermind group, or Jocelyn hopes that she sees some of you on her call. So we'll check that out. Have a great day. Do whatever it takes to flip your life. I'll see you next time. Bye.